So I did a community post yesterday asking what you wanted to see me make videos about. And I've definitely taken on board your suggestions and added them to my list. But there was one thing that I felt inspired to talk about after seeing one of the suggestions that isn't quite that suggestion that I'll be talking about, but it's what feels like it's coming to me more naturally to talk about today. I'm going to follow that inspired action. So today we're going to talk about triggers, how to deal with them, and should you really be too concerned about them, et cetera, et cetera. Before we begin, hey legends, I'm Cerise. I'm your self agency and manifestation mentor, and I help you decipher the nuances of manifestation from both the law of assumption and the law of attraction, because a lot of the information out there is either overcomplicated or oversimplified. And I've learned a lot of things the hard way so you don't have to, because we're all about manifesting smarter, not harder on this channel. All the ways I can help you, right from my 22-page ebook all the way to one-to-one coaching and everything in between, like workshops, and of course the Cheat Code Academy are linked in the description below. And if you get anything positive out of this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and or subscribe. It helps push my videos out to more people. And if you'd like to comment below to help me with the algorithm, but you don't know what to comment, just put a sparkle emoji, because we're creating literal real life magic on this channel. So there tends to be a lot of fear around triggers, particularly in the law of assumption side of manifestation. And being fearful of triggers in and of itself is going to manifest more triggers, but anything in manifestation that you pedestalize is going to expand. You're going to experience more of that. So that is why there's so much emphasis on self-concept, even though I teach it a little bit differently than what you would hear most people talk about it. It's not just your I am affirmations, it's also treating yourself how you want to be treated. That's how I teach it as one of my cheat codes. That's why there is such an emphasis on self-concept work. And I see a lot of external pedestalizing here in Bali. While I'm here, I see a lot of people sort of talking so much about like gurus and things like that. And I'm like, I got asked the other day by someone who I was talking to about manifestation, tangent, if I thought I was a guru, and I was like, fuck no, and I don't want to be. I want to teach people how to take their power back, right? Like, stop putting the power in the hands of other people. Eventually, I expect that my followers and my clients will, for the most part, not rely on me. And that is how I know I'm doing my job. That's not to say that they'll never reach out. It could be a few years after the last time we talk, and there's something that's come up that they haven't sort of dealt with before or whatever. And I just want to say, coaches have coaches too. I've had a couple of coaches, and I mean, I haven't had a coach for a while. That's not to say I'll never consult one again. I don't know. But also being here in Bali, there's a lot of people who do very similar types of work. And we're able to kind of see when we're just having conversations where, we can be reframing things in a way that feels better. And Abraham Hicks and maybe Bashar, I'm not sure, but definitely Abraham Hicks talks a lot about choosing a better feeling thought. So reframing the way you think of something, even if you are addressing something that is unfavorable in and of itself, takes a lot of the pressure off it and it can help you release it. So I'll go into that in this video. When you have an emotional attachment to something that you really want, which is taking it back to triggers, those are the things that you'll have triggers around, are the things that you really have an emotional attachment to. Oftentimes, your emotions cloud you from being able to see how you're even talking about something in a way that is not in line with what you want. And that's not so much a big deal unless you sort of take on board the things that come up for you, right? I have talked about how you don't have to flip every opposing thought. The only reason people think they need to do that is because they're coming from a fearful place. But if you're able to just recognize it and recognize that you're not that version of you anymore, just by nature of being aware of the fact that life doesn't have to be the same, that that in and of itself makes you a different version of yourself and puts you on the right trajectory towards the things that you want. But yeah, the modern interpretation of law of assumption that makes it like strips it right back to strictly mindset leads to people becoming very fearful of their thoughts and triggers and all that sort of thing, and taking on the assumption in those instances, whether it's subconscious or not, that they're not going to be able to have what they want as long as they're feeling triggered or having opposing thoughts or any unfavorable feelings coming up. In terms of law of attraction side, that's very like emotional, like feelings heavy, right? And none of those things are the case. You don't have to fret over every thought and feeling that comes up. You don't have to fret about a trigger. And the thing is, as well, what I want to say is a lot of you are making things bigger than they are because a lot of what you're saying are triggers are not actually triggers. Triggers are very heightened, very big. Like just an unfavorable feeling coming up is not a trigger. So when you call it a trigger, then you are, making it bigger in your mind than it actually is. And then manifesting more triggers. The fear of having a trigger in and of itself can create more triggers, right? So the first thing that I want to say is stop freaking out about triggers. They're not a big deal. They're actually there to help you. Okay. Everything is just feedback of where your current belief systems lie, positive or negative or good or bad. Everything's neutral. We assign the meaning to it, whether or not it's good or bad. Something that you really want might be something that someone else dreads. So, yeah, looking at triggers as just feedback and recognizing them. And when I was mentioning how a lot of people here have kind of helped me realize how I could be reframing things, something that I want to put to you is if you feel an unfavorable feeling coming up or feel like you're being triggered by something, instead of saying to yourself in that moment, I am triggered, which is then identifying with it, right? Making it part of you and your experience, saying something along the lines of, I'm feeling triggered right now, or I'm feeling upset right now, I'm feeling anxious right now, not I'm anxious or I'm triggered, or I'm experiencing the feeling of dot, dot, dot. I'm experiencing being triggered right now. That that makes it something that is separate from you and therefore makes it easier for you to zoom out a bit and realize that it's a choice you can choose, right? And when you are able to zoom out like that, it makes it easier to release it. And the other thing that I want to say about triggers is even though they are feedback, it is not necessary for you to go, what does this stem all the way back to? Why am I feeling this? Where did this feeling start? And delving into your past unfavorable experiences, that is not necessary. All you really need to do is recognize in that moment that your feeling is how you're feeling now, what that means to you, and then changing the meaning of it and creating safety in the body around it and changing the story around it. So let's say, okay, I'll give you an example of something that's kind of happened here, right? Where like I'm in a villa, I have my own room and everything, but there's, a little kind of community here with the people who stay longer term. There's a lot of people who have been here for a few months. Probably be here for a few months. I've just renewed for another month because I'm very happy where I am. And initially, with some of the longer term people that were here, we were kind of going to meals together here and there, also having a lot of our own space and doing our own things. A lot of us have our own online businesses. Some people want to relax, some people want to go out and do activities, right? Not all of those things overlap or are things we want to do at the same time. There's differing ages as well. So, I'm in my late 30s. I don't want to be spending a full day out with the girls that are in their early to mid 20s, but it's nice to have conversations here and there by the pool or over a meal and then do our own thing. There's a lady here who's also like 10 years older than me, and then the girls here are like 10 to 15 years younger than me, right? And there's been some people sort of float through for a few days here and there in between or around my age. And it's been really lovely connecting with those people. And well, yeah, some people came in that kind of changed the dynamic a little bit of like the little kind of community that we had going on. And they started doing things without including the people that they had included before, or even just being asked. Like it's nice to be asked, right? And that definitely brought up something for me. I sort of felt like left out. And then I sort of said to myself, well, hold on, like, why am I upset about that? These are not people that I would spend a lot of time around in my life outside of being here in Bali, right? I have friends that are younger than me, but these girls are a lot more spiritual than I am. A lot of you will know if you followed me for a while. I see a lot of branches of science that back up the idea of manifestation. And I don't consider myself as kind of hippie and woo woo as I used to, not to say that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just not how I sort of see things anymore. And they're a lot more like high energy than me. And I just thought that would be a lot. That would be a really big day for me. I don't think I would want to have actually done like gone out with them for a full day, but not being asked did bring something up for me. And when I was able to sort of think about that, it was like, okay, it's fine. It doesn't like say anything about me. And I wouldn't have even really have wanted to go. It wasn't triggering me, but it brought something up in me that didn't feel very good. And it reminded me of things I had felt before. I knew that it was a familiar feeling. I didn't feel the need to delve into where it all stemmed from the first time someone didn't include me or whatever. Also because of what I do and because I link a lot of this back to neuroscience and there's other branches of science that back up the ideas of manifestation as well. But because I do link a lot of it back to neuroscience being just a 3D world way that we are trying to comprehend things that are happening on an energetic level or whatever, right? But a lot of things come down to our primal needs and the more modern part of our brain that we've evolved to have being hijacked by the more primal parts of our brains that go straight to everything, any kind of pain, whether it's emotional, mental, or physical, being seen as a threat to physical survival. So when you start to feel kind of left out or abandoned or something like that, it usually just comes down to way back when, as humans, as simpler humans than, anywhere near the level of technology and civilization that we're at now. If we were not included, survival was a lot less likely because you've heard the saying, it takes a village, right? Everyone kind of had their part to play in the village and to keep each other safe and all that sort of thing. And that it may not even stem back to an actual event where anything heavy happened to you or anything traumatic or hard or anything happened to you. It could just simply come down to your primal wiring of when I feel left out, it takes my physiology to a place of feeling like I'm unsafe by myself out in the middle of the wilderness or the jungle or whatever. So it helps to be able to recognize that for me. There's a lot of people here who are like, oh, I don't like to delve into the science of things because I feel like for a lot of people it can overcomplicate things. And it can, everyone's different. For me, it helps me be able to release a lot of things more easily having this knowledge because it's like, it's just primal. Like I don't even need to know if something happened in the past because when it comes to something like that, it probably was something in the past, but even in that moment, it probably was just initially that primal fear of if I'm alone, survival, 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 right? On a subconscious, physiological, primal level. And as soon as I was able to kind of let go of that and recognize that, I felt better about it. And a new person sort of came into the villa for a few days who was like just a very authentic, real, awesome person who I now, have the contact details of. So she's traveled everywhere. She's like, let me know where you go because I've got like literal Google spreadsheets and shit of like places to go and blah, blah, blah. She had like always carried around with her a backpack with like things that would help her survive 24 hours no matter where she was. And she was very knowledgeable and she, yeah, just had a very interesting life, a very interesting human. And I also kind of got a bit closer to the lady here who's like 10 years older than me, and we've started connecting a little bit more. And that's definitely more on the wavelength that I'm on rather than the people who are like 10 to 15 years younger than me here. If I haven't mentioned in this video a circumstance that comes back to primal survival in terms of triggers, and you would like me to elaborate further on that in a future video, definitely let me know in the comments below. And I can give an example of that as to, something that will maybe help you in the moment that it happens, avoid delving into a past situation and keeping yourself in that unfavorable reality that you don't want to continue to experience. Don't be scared of your triggers, recognize them as feedback. There's no need to delve into where the origin of that trigger is because really the baseline origin of it is just your primal physiology trying to keep you safe. So, in that sense, it's actually something that you can be thankful for, even if it doesn't feel good. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. I can remind myself now that I'm safe to, use the examples that I gave earlier or apply it to whatever is bringing that feeling up for you.